Good afternoon, PubTalk. Oh my God, it's a real microphone. We're in person. I like your masks. I'm excited to show you my mask. I'm not going to use it for right now because I have my own microphone. It has been debugged, and I'm not going to let anybody else touch it. I have hand sanitizer wipes. If anybody needs any, please come to the front of the patio. I'm Shanan Kelley. I'm so glad to be here with you. This is our first ever afternoon PubTalk, in person and live stream. And we're in person again for the first time since February. How's it feel? How you guys feel? Has anybody lost their ability to be social? Has anybody lost their words? I relinquish my words quickly. Please be gentle with me this afternoon. I'm real awkward. You should see me at the grocery store. It's horrible. But you can't recognize me because I'm always in a disguise. Anyhow, I digress. If you are joining us in person or you're joining us from Central Oregon, you are on Warm Springs land. This includes Paiute and Wasco tribes as well. If you want to know more, follow Warm Springs Artists on Instagram and Facebook. See what those guys are up to. If you're joining us from live stream from anywhere else, a quick Google search will let you know whose land you are sitting or standing on. I encourage you to do that. Also, in the note of gratitude, we are able to offer our live stream event for free thanks to our sponsors. And so I want to give a big shout to my MC sponsor. That's who you have to thank for my presence here. CS Construction and IPDM. These guys are a one-stop shopping for all types of projects. Right? No more DIY projects on quarantine. I think we've discussed this several times. It does not work out in your favor. Give those guys a call. And then one of my favorite parts of PubTalk is bringing up our sponsors. This is the first time we get to bring them up live in person since February, so I've been looking forward to this. And I'm going to introduce them one at a time. First up is Kurt Barker, attorney at Carnot Peterson. Kurt, how you doing? He's ripping his mask off and making his way to the stage. Don't come too close, Kurt. I like your summer jacket. This is special for you. It has been sanitized.
Perfect. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Kurt Barker, Carnot Peterson. Thanks for being here. It is like soul food to see you all. I am so happy that you're here. We'll keep supporting PubTalk even if you got to host it over in the soaking pool underwater filled with hand sanitizer. We're glad it's not there yet. Maybe next month. We'll see. I'll just touch on 3 quick announcements and get out of here. First is a little off topic, off script for me from normal. There's an event going on this Monday night with OSQ Cascades. It's called Love Your Neighbor. Key conversation, Erica McAlpin, she's a friend. We're on the board of Volunteers in Medicine together. She's such a great leader on this topic of racial justice, social justice, inequity, diversity, inclusion. Please listen in. It's going to be a conversation with other residents of color here in Central Oregon. So there you go. Number 2, issue du jour for my employer clients is still the new leave laws under this crazy COVID-19 stuff. Childcare is the big screw up that I'm seeing right now. Watch out for a summer childcare need triggering paid leave for the first time in history that I know of. So see me if you have a question about that. Third is, if you know any really good lawyers who might want to come to Bend, we're hiring for 2. Portland, anyone? I hear people are anxious to get out of there. Tell your friends that we're hiring, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, Kurt. Wow, paid parental leave in America? What? Thanks, Kurt. All right, next up, Corey Allen, SVP, Commercial Banking Team Leader for Columbia Bank. Where are you? Corey, I have missed you. I was really hoping you'd show up in a pink suit. Aaron's going to go ahead and quickly debug the area. I'm going to also... Okay, you're all good. You're all good, Corey. Go ahead and hit it.
Thank you. Whoa. First time outside. This is great. I was told to keep this very short, so I'm going to do so. My name's Corey Allen. I'm the Commercial Banking Team Leader for Columbia Bank here in town. We do commercial lending, real estate loans, lines of credit, any kind of your financing needs. My quick announcement is we're certainly open for business, looking at opportunities. Obviously, we're at a crazy time right now. I'm not going to use unprecedented because I hate that word at this point in time, almost as much as I hate Zoom meetings at this point. But we'd love to talk with you. Really happy EDCO's still putting on these events. This is awesome to get everybody out here and going, and just looking forward to our continued progress as we move forward. So take care of each other, social distance so we don't get shut down again, and we'll all get through this together. So thank you for coming.
Corey, your first time outside? Or, God, I hope not.
No, I got a little farmer's stand going.
Okay, thanks so much, Corey. Great to have you. All right, next up, as Aaron wipes down our mic, my friend, Jake Murray, mortgage specialist at Directors Mortgage. Where are you, Jake? Rip that mask off enter the stage from that side. Don't look me in the eyes. Just kidding. That last one was a joke. Go for it.
How's everybody doing? It's my second time doing this talk. This event's really cool. I love doing it. I'm going to be really brief as well. So, still seeing historically low rates, and I'm Jake at Director's Mortgage, by the way. Historically low rates. If you guys know anybody that's still in the 4s or upward from that on their rate, tell them to come in. We're saving people a ton of money. We're slammed with business right now. We are your local lender in Central Oregon. Office is open, so if you want to stop in, do that or give us a call. Yep, that's it.
Aw, thanks, Jake. All right, Jake, if you just wonderful to have you. Wanted to just go ahead and clear that out. Wow, that's really great mortgage rates. I'm wondering if I could take out a mortgage loan and pay off my student loan. Is that an option? We'll talk after. Okay, great. Next up, my favorite, Jordan Smith, VLOX System, President and CEO. You so fancy. Get on up here. I see you trimmed your beard down a little.
I did, yeah, sorry. I mean, I guess the pandemic's like on its way out now, so I had to go for it. Hey, thanks everybody for coming out. This is awesome. I love being out here with you guys and seeing you all again after so many months of just seeing you one way through the screen. And so I also was joking with Corey earlier. I didn't do banking, mortgage, or become an attorney so that I could show up in shorts to an event like this. A little more casual. So, hey, I'm Jordan Smith with VLOX Systems. We're an IT solutions consulting company. How many people here feel like the way they do business has changed drastically in the last 3 or 4 months? Nobody? Am I the only one? Okay, there's a few. Good, yeah. I know our office has gone basically vacant for like the last 2 or 3 months because everyone can work from home. In our business model, we obviously are a tech company, so we got pretty good at it pretty quick, and we'd love to help people learn how to do different things with your real estate. And if you're looking for about 5,000 square feet of office space, let me know, because I'm going to sublease mine, because all of my guys can work from home, and we love it. So good to see you guys. Thanks for coming to PubTalk, and take it away.
Aw, thanks, Jordan. That's awesome. Yeah, has anybody, the way you've done business, has it changed? I specialize in live events. Wah, wah, wah. We're doing great. We're killing it right now. It's really, no, this is amazing. Like, people are jealous right now. Yeah, people are jealous. All right, my friends, I want to introduce to you next up Mr. Roger Lee, our EDCO CEO. He's going to give us a quick director's minute. He's also going to thank McMenamins. So this is pretty awesome, right? Being able to be out here before they open. This is my favorite experience at McMenamins so far. For sure, hands down. Private crowd every time. Take it away, Roger.
Okay. Everybody hear me? Oh, that's amazing. Oh. Whoops. Thanks, Matt. And thanks, Matt, for all the work you do for PubTalk and a new venue as well. So, well, people in the office know me as, okay, got to come up closer. Okay. People know me as, being the safety guy around EDCO. Yeah, all my team's like rolling their eyes right now. So, I can't be too safe. So I figured I'd bring out the air cap for my woodworking shop today. So thanks for braving the environment today to come out to be in person in PubTalk, and thanks to all those who are watching virtually. And I really just want to thank McMenamins. This event would not be able to happen because it's called PubTalk if it's not at a pub. And so, we really couldn't do this without McMenamins and Lori, really her team stepping up the plate. So let's give them a quick round of applause. So. And thanks to the ingenuity of our team, we're one of the first organizations not to cancel events, but to go to a virtual format, primarily PubTalk. Okay.
There we go. Primarily PubTalk, and that, I think we're one of the first organizations around to actually go, there we go, go to a back to live events with the virtual option as well. So nothing happens with events until unless people show up. So thanks for being a part of this today. So just a couple comments, and we'll move on with the program. During the past 3 months, we've made a conscious effort to keep our team, intact and working and so forth to help businesses that are trying to navigate what's been going on, all the impacts of COVID measures. And during that time, we've seen traded sector companies lose 90% of their revenue. We've seen other companies be up 70% over the previous year. So it's just been everything in between. Definitely crazy, crazy times and so forth. But I will say that our local directors who are scattered out through the audience here have been meeting with companies and kind of meeting companies where they're at and their challenges. And we're very bullish on what's going to happen here in the future, and really believe that the scalable kind of companies that are up here on stage at PubTalk, but our existing manufacturers and tech companies and professional service companies that have most of their clients outside the area are going to help us recover from this quicker than other places. And I think just this place will help us as well. We were just having conversations with folks as they're walking in about the interest of people moving out of bigger cities to small metros like ours that offer the kind of quality of life without the hassle factor they're accustomed to. So we think that place is very well for us, for the Central Oregon area in general, and so forth. So as we look to do things creatively, I think some people have had questions about some of our other events, like BVC, which is all around entrepreneurship as well. So in that spirit of getting creative in the times, BVC is going to happen this fall. Yes. 17th year in a row. We're not going to have a pause in that. And hopefully we'll have as much as we can in person, even if it's multiple venues. So I'm going to let Aaron get in the details when that rolls around, but no doubt hand in hand and other folks and our sponsors here today are certainly a big part of that as well. So in order to pull that off, we usually have interns help us in that period of time and through the fall. And we're out looking for an intern. So if you know of someone who's home from college or even possibly a high school student, would love to talk to you. Erin Chayette, who probably greeted most of you at the door, give her a shout, or Larry Holman, who is our internship coordinator here in Bend and also coordinates the regional effort. We're out there on the hunt for an intern, and they can start right away. So send them our way, and we'll hopefully get them connected up. And I also want to do a quick shout out to Debbie Taylor, who is our internship coordinator up in Jefferson County. With schools closed, with businesses reeling kind of from what's happening up there, she placed her first intern this last week. So pretty cool to see that happening even in this environment. So all right, well, thank you for attending PubTalk, and Shannon, on with the show.
Thanks, Roger. So good to have you, Roger. Thank you. It does smell nice, right? It's On Guard. On Guard. Is this weather glorious? I just want to give a shout out to the universe.
Yes, thank you.
When the weather's this nice, I have to get dramatic about it. I think this is the best weather we've ever had. Is it fair to say? I think this is the best weather we ever had. I want to give a shout to our new EDCO members for June. Bend Sauce. That sounds fun. CWKK Corp, Kudometrics, Send Transportation, and SiteCast Inc. Good work, Heidi, securing new EDCO members during a pandemic. That's no small feat, Heidi. That's amazing. Thank you so much. We continue to grow. We will not be held down. We're going to switch up today's program just a little bit, so you'll hear from 3 startup entrepreneurs. Some will be pitching, some sharing their why, and some explaining how and why they are repeat offenders of entrepreneurship. And virtual attendees, those of you watching from home or from other locations, here's how you can ask questions. If you're watching in the YouTube, you'll go to the sidebar on your screen and type in your question. If that is not working for you, you can email us as well. And Aaron, correct me, the email is info@edco. Where's Aaron? I lost her. How will they? I just want to make sure I'm giving the right email. Does someone know what the email? Anybody? Roger, do you know what the email is? We'll come back to it. All right, so on to this afternoon's early stage pitching company. This is provided by supporting sponsors Central Oregon Association of Realtors, COAR. The Central Oregon real estate market has record low inventory. So if you're thinking of selling your home, please contact a local realtor to discuss how to safely list and sell your home. And there are great protocols in place for that, so don't be scared. Also, Barrett Business Services, Inc., or BBSI, wants to welcome each of you back to PubTalk in person and with all the proper precautions precautions, of course. Love all of your masks. And those of you who are attending virtually, cheers to you as well. It's great to have everyone here together. As many other businesses, BBSI has experienced challenges during this time. They are fortunate and excited to announce a new HR platform called My BBSI. This new system offers an intuitive and flexible system, giving greater control of payroll, organizational development, and employee relations. This is a first-in-class online web portal that will help business owners focus on what matters. BBSI looks forward to adding high tech to their high touch partnerships. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Eric Strobel. Eric's a great guy. All right, so our first pitch, founder, CEO, nutritionist, plant-based food aficionado, Shanna Koenig Camuso started Bend-based Gather Nuts, an artisanal whole food snack company. They soak their nuts and seeds for 24 hours, toss their nuts with innovative spice combinations, and then slow roast the nuts on a low temperature. The team is passionate about foods that nurture while doing the least amount of harm to the plants and animals. These are core values that drive their work, and it's a delicious, delicious product. So let's hear from Shanna. Shanna, get on up here. What drove you to do this whole thing with nuts?
Can everyone hear me okay? It's melting. Right here. Which side?
Roger, what did you do?
Oh, Roger.
Oh, Roger. Okay, will that work, Shanna? You got it?
I think it works. So, as you guys can tell from my stack of cards here, public speaking is not my forte. However, I'm really good at making really good nuts. So you all have some of our nuts on your table. So please be eating them while I'm speaking, and then maybe you'll just be crunching over any faux pas I make. So, so I'm Shanna, and I'm the founder of Gather Nuts. I started Gather Nuts to create a whole food snack that you can actually feel good about eating. How many times have you gone to the grocery store hungry? You go in searching for a healthy snack to hold you over. You naturally gravitate to the protein bar aisle. You find one that looks appealing, and you notice the high sugar content and wonder if it's the right choice. You keep searching for the right bar and fail, so you decide to go to the chip aisle. By now, you're beyond hunger, and your frustration is growing. There's all these new products made with chickpeas, beans, and cassava root. First, you wonder what the hell that is. Then you decide to grab bean chips because they have to be good for you. But are they? You just don't understand why it's so hard to find a whole food snack option that's healthy, satisfying, and actually tastes good. Is that too much to ask? We don't think so. Gather Nuts is a solution to this all too common problem. Our nuts and seeds taste amazing, and you can feel good about eating them. Our products are gluten-free, plant-based, and free from refined sugars, synthetic ingredients, artificial flavorings, and anything you can't pronounce. We're positioning ourselves at the confluence of three key food trends. One, snack foods, which includes nuts and seeds, plant foods, and organic foods. The snack food industry alone is a $540 billion market. The current global nut and seed market is valued at $60 billion and is projected to grow 5% annually, equating to an $83 billion market by 2025. The organic and plant-based products are projected to grow by 5 to 20% year over year. Before I dive into our product details, let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm a certified nutrition consultant and a longtime plant-based aficionado, as Shannon already mentioned. Growing up, my family was split between West Texas cattle ranchers and Northern California gardeners. Both have influenced how I eat and my values around food. Basically, I stopped eating meat and started eating more plants. I have many fond memories of being with my family and sharing a bowl of nuts at my grandparents' table. I truly didn't understand what a powerful superfood that they were until I went to nutrition school, and what I learned at nutrition school drove me to start Gather Nuts. So Gather Nuts is an artisanal whole food snack company What makes us unique is our process. We soak our nuts and seeds in salt water for 24 hours. We do this because nuts and seeds have natural barriers that protect them from inherent threats in nature. If these barriers are not broken down through a soaking process, they can make nuts and seeds difficult to digest and keep some of their key nutrients locked away. After soaking, we toss our nuts and seeds with innovative spice combinations, then slow roast them on a low temperature to protect their healthy fats. This is a key differentiator from commercial nuts that are often over-roasted and can damage naturally occurring healthy fats and turn them into free radicals. And you don't want to be eating free radicals. Today, one of our best-selling flavors is turmeric curry cashews, the first flavored nut that I created. In the beginning, I simply made them with a curry blend, but I wanted to up their nutritional value by adding turmeric, which helps to combat inflammation. I added black pepper, which helps the body to absorb curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric. Doing this upped the nutritional value and the flavor. It's this process that I applied to all of our flavors. So some of our most popular products are the original turmeric curry cashew, maple cinnamon Brazil nuts, rosemary olive oil almonds, spicy red curry cashews, which are my personal favorite and go really great with local brews, cheesy almonds, which are made with nutritional yeast, and I would say that's probably a fan favorite, maple cardamom almonds, and then chocolate coffee cashews. And our chocolate coffee cashews are also, actually a partnership with 2 other local companies, Still Vibrato Coffee and Seahorse Chocolate. So, as I said, we've placed bags of nuts on your tables. Did you get a chance to try them? Anybody? Anybody? What do you think about them? Like, what do you think makes them stand out? Everything. I like that. The taste, maybe? That's because that's what we feel like. It's the taste that makes them stand out. So Gather Nuts is in its 2nd year of business. You can find us in 14 different stores like Newport Market and West Coast Provisions, as well as coffee shops like Palette and Brew Doctor, and in retailers throughout Central Oregon. We've also started to broaden our reach and have products in Hillsboro, Oregon, and Frisco, Colorado. The bulk of our business this year has come through e-commerce sales, partially due to COVID-19. As we continue to invest across both e-commerce and retail channels, we're averaging 70% a quarter, which makes us excited about our growth potential. We've learned that people are not just looking for any snack, they're looking for a snack that's healthy, convenient, and sustainable. Gather Nuts checks all those boxes. Let's talk about why Gather Nuts is a strong investment. We have a product that consumers love, as you guys already tasted. You love them now, right? So if you want proof, you can also check out the reviews on our website. 2, consumer demand for healthy food is rising, and COVID has accelerated that trend. Gather Nuts is naturally high in immune-boosting and antioxidant properties that people are now looking for. We have strong early results that validate our concept and growth potential. We have a product that hits on a number of growing food trends. According to a study on snacking, the average adult consumes more snacks than meals. That means people are choosing to snack more than they are sitting down to eat. Gather Nuts is ready for consumers on-the-go eating. 5, we're on pace to reach $80,000 or more in sales this year. Our typical gross margin across all of our products is around 50%. Lastly, we're a mission-driven company. Our mantra is people, planet, animals. We work in each of these arenas to support healthy eating while minimalizing our environmental footprint and creating awareness about alternatives to factory farming. And I'm not doing this alone. I have an amazing team working with me behind the scenes on e-commerce, operations, and business strategy. A few of them are here today. Without each of them and their dedication to Gather Nuts and our mission, we would not be where we are today. Finally, we have a few things we need in order to take our company to the next level. We would love introductions to new retail opportunities and buyers. And if you love our nuts, ask your favorite local grocer to carry our products. And most exciting, we just moved into a new private commercial kitchen space. And we're working to gain capital to invest in expanding our production and distribution capacity. Lastly, we'd love for you to help get the word out about Gather Nuts. Grab a bag or 2 of Gather Nuts and share them with friends and family. So thank you for your time. I loved sharing Gather Nuts with all of you, and I want to give a big thank you to Edco and Aaron and Brian who helped me prepare for all of this. And I didn't flub up too much, guys.
Oh, you did great. You did great, Shanna. I love your nuts. I love your sweet nuts. I love your savory nuts. I love your spicy nuts. I like the coffee nuts.
If only I were a guy.
I see those nuts all over town, and I'm always happy to see your nuts. And then I just love those nuts. So let's talk a little bit about the nutritional component, because this is pretty interesting. I know that you mentioned that there are some barriers that need to be broken down. A lot of people don't know this phytic acid is actually really bad for your teeth. So talk a little bit more about the nutritional part of this.
About the soaking process and it breaking
Yeah.
down. So phytates is what you're trying to break down. Phytates and enzyme inhibitors. So both those components, they're just natural components in nature that basically protect the nuts and seeds from sprouting too soon if the growing conditions aren't proper or aren't ready. And but those phytates are protecting the nut, and so if you don't soak those and get rid of the phytates and get rid of the enzyme inhibitors, then those are going to make the nuts and seeds harder for you to digest.
So
that make
anybody
sense?
out there having digestion issues?
I have to
It's
say,
really it's exacerbated when you're on
Yeah.
quarantine with your family. It's like
I
it could
know.
really cause
I
some
know.
issues. So
I know.
I appreciate what you're doing.
yeah. And I do have a lot of customers who have not been able to eat nuts, like they're indigestible for them, and so they have eaten our nuts and they're finally able to consume nuts. And actually, I mentioned one of the stores in Colorado. That's exactly what happened. I sent them some samples because I used to live there, and the owner of the store tasted them, and she was just like, "Oh my God, I can digest nuts! I'm ordering a bunch."
Oh, it's so
So,
cool. Well, and
yeah.
as you said, this is like a totally different game than like large commercially produced nuts.
Correct.
So there's also probably they're missing a lot of probably other nasty
Correct.
things
They're
that
not
we won't get into.
overheated and all that, yeah.
Sure, and they're
Sure.
higher quality, right? You're sourcing
Correct.
really well. I know
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Do we have any questions from the audience? And as a reminder, if you are tuning in from home, you can type your questions into the chat bar on YouTube. Okay, any questions from the yes? Shanna, where are your nuts grown?
It's always funny. Nuts. Where are your nuts grown? So we source from two companies, primarily from Hummingbird Wholesale, and they're out of Eugene. And so the almonds actually come from this amazing farmer in California. Like they're one of the few organic almond farmers in California. And then we also source from Terrasol, and they're based in Fort Worth, Texas. And so, as far like we try to source as locally as possible. So our pumpkin seeds, I don't know if any of you got to try the pumpkin seeds. They're ridiculously good. But that was a partnership with Hummingbird Wholesale working with local farmers to grow actual pumpkin seeds in Oregon. So they are Oregon-grown pumpkin seeds.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Any other questions from the audience right now? Oh, yes. She loves the packaging.
Oh, I should talk about the packaging.
Yes, let's
because
talk about the
we did talk
packaging.
about that's the planet piece of people, planet, animals. So our packaging is made with rice paper. So yeah, it's biodegradable, landfill friendly, and so the inside of it is not plastic either. It's made out of dextrose. So yeah,
How did you source the packaging?
just from a wholesaler. Yeah. So
Just digging around. It was
just
important to you.
digging around.
I mean,
yeah.
I think that's one thing I really love about your company is like you're like, this is important to me. These are my
Yeah.
actual values, and
Yeah.
then that's how I'm going to design
Yeah.
the company. So,
Yeah.
what's your favorite part of this whole endeavor?
I really love making nuts that people get excited about. I think it's the reaction that people have to my nuts, that they're just like, oh, you get the eyebrow raise and everybody are excited by them. And so I love
I have
that
never
reaction.
heard anybody say that.
It's
It's the
true, the
reaction
eyebrow
people
raise.
have to my nuts. Yes, Aaron.
Exactly. There's so much humor.
Favorite flavor,
Okay.
best-selling flavor.
Best-selling flavor is the turmeric curry cashews, the original. And I would say the chocolate coffee cashews are a
I
close
love
second.
those.
My favorite flavor, again, because I'm from Texas, are the spicy red curry. Yeah.
Maple cardamom from Aaron.
yes.
I love the
Okay,
maple
good
cardamom.
to
Well,
know.
when we had talked once before, and I said, so I make my own nut and seed milk. I'm a dairy-free person. A dairy-free life is a great life. Just want to put that out there. But you can also you can make your nut and seed milks with your product, and it's already soaked. It's like ready to go. It'll have a light flavor. It's delicious.
And we actually have Courtney, I think she's with Veg World magazine, so she actually makes a curry out of our nuts. So she takes either the turmeric curry or the red curry, and she just makes it into a curry paste.
Oh,
and a
that's
sauce.
delicious.
I know.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
So they're actually, nuts are not just for snacking. You can use them in culinary creations as well, for sure, a lot of them.
Culinary creations.
Culinary
this is getting
creations.
fancier by the minute.
That's
Any other
right.
questions? Yes, Aaron. What type of investment are you looking for? Is he asking Shanna or me? I'm just kidding. Shanna, take it.
So I think I mentioned that we did just move into a commercial kitchen space, and we were definitely looking to increase our capacity for production. And so certainly there's a financial piece of that. We're also in the process of getting our bags printed. And for anybody out there who has printed bags, it's an ungodly amount. You wouldn't think that it would cost that much money. So, and am I missing anything, Shelby, there? Yeah, just capital
Cold hard
investment.
cash. I mean, it's out there.
Exactly.
There's piles
Exactly.
of it. I see it everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I think we have time for one more. Any other questions? Yes.
Oh, good.
Is this a
That's
retail size
really
or a sample
good
size?
question.
Who is that guy? He's got great questions.
But I like him. So that is our 1.5 ounce size. It's considered our grab and go. Then we also have 3 ounce, 8 ounce, and 12 ounce. And you can order all the sizes online. Newport Market has the 3 ounce and the 8 ounce, good selection of those. And then I would say West Coast Provisions has a good selection of grab and go and 8 ounce.
Yeah, West Coast Provisions has a great selection.
Yeah.
They're up in Northwest Crossing. If you haven't had a chance to check
Yep.
them out, please do.
Yeah.
Tell us your website before you go.
Gathernuts.com.
Gathernuts.com.
Super
Well,
easy.
I'd really like to make a short film with you about your nuts. So let's meet up sometime.
Can we talk about sweaty balls?
Can we talk about your fancy
I mean,
nuts?
the next piece of sweaty balls.
Shanna, you're amazing. Thank you so much, and thanks for bringing us the
much,
nuts. They're so
Shannon.
tasty.
Thank you, guys.
Really well done. Shanna, don't take this personally. You're great. Okay. Aaron, you want to come wipe off my microphone? All right, my friends, thanks. And make sure that you don't leave any of those nuts behind. Right? Make sure you take those with you. They're worth their weight in gold. Oh, I've got a stash over here, and I'm going to hit Shanna up. I mean, she needs me to try all of them. Research and development. All right, sponsoring our next company is the University of Oregon. Did you know that around 500 students from this area attend U of O? Congratulations to all graduating seniors and their parents. We're grateful for our students and alumni, and the support for higher education is paramount. I think we can all agree. We're thankful for alumni and friends that are helping the cause. Thank you, and go Ducks. Every time I say it, it's like everyone's like, yeah, and then there's like one guy's like, boo. Like, come on. Ducks and beavers like each other a lot. They all live on the river. And Corvo, a high-tech manufacturing and design center looking for passionate, energetic, and self-driven individuals interested in manufacturing and technology. So during this challenging time, Corvo remains committed to problem solving while keeping our families and communities safe and healthy. Check out their career opportunities at volt.com and corvo.com. That's QORVO.com. All right, Kevin Hoffman has quite the story of what inspired him to be an entrepreneur, and he's going to be sharing with us remotely from a distance. So, Kevin, I hear, do we have Kevin on the line, Matt? I hear that you're self-quarantined to be on the safe side, and which we really appreciate. We really appreciate, but I'm glad that you could still join us. So, can you all see him? Great.
Hi,
so,
everyone.
Hi, Kevin.
Glad to be
So,
here.
Vector Remote Care delivers proactive cardiac remote monitoring that keeps patients connected and ensures that every heart is in the right hands. They oversee the monitoring process from end to end, combining personalized support from cardiac experts with advanced software automation to proactively identify significant patient episodes. This allows clinics to hone in on care that needs to be provided quickly to maximize patient safety while increasing operational efficiency and boosting revenue in the process. That's a big ask right there. Let's hear more from CEO Kevin about why he founded this growing Ben company. Kevin, go ahead and take it away.
All right, thanks. Hello, everyone. I was a camper last week. I hiked into Lucky Lake with my younger boys and a friend, and the friend was diagnosed with coronavirus this morning. So I decided I better not come to the Pub Talk and be live. I'm on quarantine myself now, and it's just the day and age we live in. But my name is Kevin Hoffman. I'm the founder of Vector Remote Care, and our mission is to improve the lives and safety of our patients and people. And so I figured it was better to not be there and stay within that operating of that mission. So quick question for the audience is, how many of you know someone who has a pacemaker or a defibrillator? I see all the hands going up. So at Vector Remote Care, we help cardiology clinics monitor their patients with implanted cardiac devices. So pacemakers and defibrillators, they have the ability to transmit information daily about patients' rhythms and the device functionality. Today at Vector, we monitor 25,000 patients across the United States, And we're excited to share that here just last month, we signed St. Charles Heart and Vascular Center right here in our community. So we're excited to be getting to work with them. At Vector, we're a local team of about 30 software engineers, patient support specialists, and cardiac technicians, most of whom are right here in Bend. So now you know what we do, but tonight's Pub Talk is about the why. So why did we take the hard route to become an entrepreneur? That's what I was asked to speak on. I'll say my first memory of entrepreneurship is from second grade. It was on a spelling test and there was extra credit. How do you spell entrepreneur and how do you spell philanthropist? My mom helped me study. I nailed them both and figured I was destined for great things. I didn't have a clue what either of those words meant, and it really didn't matter. It was just a major life event. I got the extra credit. So there might be a little bit more to the story of my why, and that was another major life event that influenced me just a few years later. As a 12-year-old, my family was on a ski vacation. We were at Mammoth Mountain and took a break from skiing and sat down for lunch together in the lodge. I'm the youngest of 4 siblings, and none of us will ever forget what was etched into our mind and the experience after that. So what happened next was my mom, who was 42 at the time, suffered a cardiac arrest. Now, only 1 in 10 usually survive a cardiac arrest. It's more commonly called a sudden cardiac death. But we were in a public place, and it just so happens that doctors like to ski and they eat lunch too. So they administered CPR until paramedics could defibrillate mom's heart back into normal rhythm. We were lucky, mom survived. But the road to recovery was a long one. She suffered brain damage. She had been given CPR for about 20 minutes before they were able to resuscitate her. And so she was in a short coma, had brain damage and memory loss. So at the age of 12, it was now my turn to help mom learn some things like spelling entrepreneur and philanthropy. It was an interesting tide that changed. So she's doing well today and has fully recovered. But to protect mom from another cardiac arrest, the cardiologist implanted her with what's called a cardiac defibrillator. This is actually the device that mom received in 1992. And it was a big device that was placed in the abdomen. And the way that this works is there's a wire that goes from this device into the heart. And what that allows the device to do is see the heart and know if it's going too fast. And if her heart were to go off to the races and go into what's called ventricular fibrillation, it would rescue her. It would shock her back to normal rhythm. Only problem is mom's device malfunctioned. The wire that went into her heart fractured, and so it caused a lot of noise. The device was fooled to think that it needed to deliver therapy, and mom was shocked repeatedly. And remember, she was recovering from brain injuries, and so she was it was a tough time for her. And worse, this happened not once, but many times. She had 30 shocks at a time. It won't stop until they were able to kind of reposition her. And then it would happen weeks later for months before they recognized what the real problem was. We happened to live in Texas at the time, and every thunderstorm since with lightning had my mom trembling in fear. So why am I an entrepreneur? I'm an entrepreneur so that Vector Remote Care can exist. We deliver daily monitoring, and it's the most accurate, actionable reports that we can give our cardiology clinics to help reduce risk and improve the patient lives. We've grown from a team of 5 to about 30 in just over a year. Our annual recurring revenue today is about $6 million, and we expect to end the year at $8.5 million. COVID, as it has me at home today, has us socially distancing, and our cardiac patients at Vector, they fall into that category of being most at risk. America's elderly population is growing rapidly, and heart disease is the leading cost and the leading killer to our health system. It's critical that we make for better outcomes and we provide proactive preventative care. The cardiac monitoring that we perform is clinically proven. In fact, American Heart Association scores it a Class 1A And that means its benefits are clinically proven with the highest level of evidence across a wide ranging studies. So today we're providing cardiac monitoring for implanted pacemakers and defibrillators and devices for the heart. But we're in pilot to be doing blood pressure and to be doing weight scales. And these are things that help manage heart failure for these patients that we're already giving care for, to help give doctors a better picture of what's going on for their patients so they can monitor them from home and keep them out of the office, keep them out of the hospital, and be proactive and preventative in their care. So I guess in closing today, I am an entrepreneur. If all goes well, maybe a philanthropist tomorrow, but we'll take it one step at a time. And I understand that with these pub talks, generally we end with an ask. And so my ask is, guys, keep your eyes open for us. We've got a hot service that we get to be in a perfect time, providing a perfect solution. And we're growing quickly. Our engineering team is growing quickly, especially we're currently looking for a product manager to help us prioritize the projects that we have. And we'd welcome applicants and are looking to do some big things over these next several months. Thanks for your time.
Thanks,
Sorry
Kevin.
I wasn't there live and in person.
Don't apologize, actually. I think if you were here in person, you'd owe us apologies, actually, how that works. I love your story, and I love what you're doing, and I'm wondering, what is the biggest challenge that you're facing right now in COVID times, aside from your self-quarantine, of course, but specifically with the company?
Yeah, so COVID times, they met slower sales. We didn't get to grow for those 3 months. When the world shut down, there was no one there to take the call. But what it has then translated to is that now that we're coming out of that, we have a real heightened awareness for the need. What may have been a choice of, hey, you have a pacemaker, we could monitor you from home, is now you have a pacemaker and we're going to monitor you from home. This information and the ability to stay up to date on what's going on with their patients every day, it makes for telehealth to be something that works. It helps patients who have chronic diseases be managed in a way that is really productive and meaningful.
I love to hear that. It's quite the silver lining. Your challenge turned into actually an asset in a way. It's great. As a reminder, if you have questions and you're watching from home, you can type your questions into the chat bar on the YouTube screen. Aaron, do we have any questions from the audience? What's that? Why Bend? Yes, why Bend?
Yeah, Bend came mountain biking here in 2011 and 2013. That's when I got the idea for what it was I was going to do. Trying to figure out, how do I live there? Came to Bend for the outdoors and for the good schools, but honestly, it's been the best place I could ever imagine to start a business. Assets, resources, networking, all of you people have been fantastic and really helpful. Making introductions, providing solutions, suggestions and introductions to other folks outside the area even. Came to Bend for the outdoors and will stay for the people, I think is the best way to put it.
I love that you're like, how do I get to Bend? I know, I'll start a really massive heart monitoring tech company to get me there. I think you're the only one, but that's awesome. Any other questions from the live audience? Any questions from yes, Aaron. How big is your team and what are you looking for?
We're looking for a product manager today. Perhaps some additional help in marketing, and gaining market awareness is kind of a task that we're taking on this year as well. We're a team of 30. That's in Bend. We're 21 full-time employees, and then we have an office in New York and in Southern California. We'll be opening an office in Lake Oswego, as we have 3 employees in Portland as well. But the team is spread out, and it's grown from, as I said, January of last year, we were a team of 5. Wow. Last year was our growth year to get organized, get intentional, and really make fast progress on sharing the platform of technology and service that we have to offer.
That's great. Thank you. I'd love to hear about that growth. I know it comes with its own challenges, but yes, sir, in the back. Can you talk a little bit about the monitoring technology?
Sure. So we're a remote patient management company. We're a remote patient monitoring company. And what that really means is that there are all sorts of different things that our platform is going to be able to help manage. I happen to choose this really complicated niche of implanted cardiac devices because of my personal experience with it. After college, I went to a school in South Carolina specific to cardiac technology so that I could work in the field of pacemakers and defibrillators, help with the implants and programming. And it was that exposure that gave me the insight and realization for the need that as these devices became higher tech and smaller, they have had a lot of progress made. And that means that we've got a bedside monitor for each brand. There's really 4 brands of devices, and each of these have a monitor that patients go home with. Our job is to help them set that monitor up and then ensure that it's communicating with their implanted device so that the patient's sleeping next to it, that it's actually got a connection to the network, and that they have scheduled routine reports. So our technology is to retrieve all of that data, bring it into our platform so that our cardiac device experts can interpret it, summarize it for the doctors according to their protocol, and then deliver actionable information in a really simple, easy to digest sort of way. So as I said, I started in a really complex field of cardiology with cardiac implanted devices. We're expanding into blood pressure and weight. And what that means for us is that the market is much bigger. The need is enormous, and the value that we'll be able to provide within the platform that we've already foundationally built is going to be really broad. And that's an exciting step and a really exciting transition that we'll be making in the next several months.
And Kevin, do you see any other areas of opportunity where this could translate to other departments of medicine?
Yeah, so remote patient monitoring is huge in diabetes. It's huge in every chronic care sort of realm. Heart disease being the biggest and most expensive, it is the one that has the greatest need. Baby boomers, 12,000 a day for the next 9 years, are hitting the age of when heart disease is most prevalent. And so it's that switch that is really significant. Diabetes maybe is getting a little bit more traction in the RPM, the remote patient monitoring space, because they're a younger demographic that are more technology accepting. Our demographic is 65 plus, and as that younger side of it is really engaged and on the smartphone, one of the biggest jobs that our support team handles is just encouraging folks to open their box and plug their monitor in so that we can help them and get some good information for them to have their doctors take action for them.
That's great. Any other? I think we have one more. Yes. Who pays for your service? Patients, doctors, or insurance companies?
Great question. So that's one of the fun things. It's kind of complicated to have insurance pay for the services, but that's how we do it. The services that we provide are the technical preparation of these reports, keeping patients scheduled and on time, and monitoring consistently. And then we deliver these reports to the doctors who professionally interpret them, and they then will take action for those patients. So the clinical intervention, that falls with the physicians and the professionals. We are cardiac experts, and we have a support staff to help patients keep connected with their monitors. So long answer, but insurance covers the cost of that technical preparation. We then bill for that, and then insurance covers the cost of that professional action that's taken by the doctor, and they bill insurance for that.
Great. And I think we have, yes, Aaron. Brian Vieira would like to know, are you going to do BVC?
Sounds great.
Okay, I think that's a yes. Well, we will see you there.
All right.
Kevin, thank you so much. It's such a compelling story, and I wish you all the best luck with all of your continued growth. And thanks for being here, not here.
Thank you,
Really
guys. Thank you all
appreciate it.
for watching, and thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
All right, so we are on to our final entrepreneur story, and this one is this one is sponsored by COCC, Small Business Development Center. I cannot believe I have the right page in front of me. I think I'm going to need that one. Remember what I said about the weather? I take it back. Thank you. COCC Small Business Development Center is still operating virtually, and local business advisors continue to be available via phone or video conference. So reach out, schedule a business advising appointment with them. And SGA CPAs looking for an accountant with great client service and technology. Call SGA CPAs for the best online accounting experience in the business. And Maggie Hubbell is currently co-founder and COO of Shift, an education organization that uses virtual reality as a tool to achieve better learning outcomes for nurses, CNAs, and patient care technicians. But this is not her first rodeo. Maggie is an experienced entrepreneur and executive leader with a passion for starting, growing, and scaling great companies. She has 17 plus years of executive leadership experience at technology firms and training companies, and she was the CEO of Agency Revolution, where she led the company to a successful strategic acquisition in 2017. And Maggie, I've also heard that you are an Opportunity Knox board member, BVC's Impact Track Fund Manager, a wife, a mother, and I'm pretty sure that if you're doing all of that, you're doing a whole lot more. So come on up here and tell us how you manage all of this. Maggie, where are you? Oh, there you are. You snuck up on me. Okay, I'm gonna go this way, Maggie, and I'll let you take it out.
I just realized how busy I am. I'm exhausted. So I think I'm supposed to talk about entrepreneurship and why I have been one and continue to be one, and I'm wondering if I can plead insanity. I'm going to revisit that one later. Anyway, so there are a couple of themes that I'm realizing have been a part of my entire life and before I was even born. And I'm now realizing how much they are a part of me, whether I like it or not. And those two things are entrepreneurship and social impact. My grandparents actually founded Meals on Wheels in the 1950s as social impact entrepreneurs. And so that's like a part of my legacy, right? And then my dad was also a social worker before he became an entrepreneur and ran successful organizations. And then when I graduated college and I was broke and vulnerable, he asked me if I'd be interested in helping him run some of his startups. And I said yes. And so I did kind of every job you can think of and or managed departments on 2 of his startups and learned along the way. I didn't know what I was doing. I figured it out as I went. And then there came a time in 2008, because what better time to start a company, when we had an idea of starting a technology company serving the insurance space. We didn't even realize at the time that that was called software as a service. We did it and then realized there was a name for it. So I ran that company more or less for about 8 years, and then we started that, grew it, had about 40 employees here in Bend, and then I realized at one point that it needed some really clear leadership to get it to the next level, and that level was either going to be major fundraising so that we could really grow or an exit. And I think we'd been doing it long enough and working together as family long enough that we were ready for the next thing. And so I became CEO and sold that company 8 months later. And took a little time to figure out what's next, because when you're in something so deeply, you don't really always know exactly what it's like to not be a part of that anymore. So tried a couple things, took a little bit of time off and went through a whole bunch of self-discovery, and I'm still reading books about that. And then the time was right, and a friend of mine put me together with another entrepreneur, Wendy Morgan, who's in the crowd. And we were just a really great fit right away to be business partners. And so I became co-founder and chief operating officer of Shift. And we build virtual reality training. We started off in the K-12 space and then realized that it needed to be more than in just teacher training, but also something that we could bring to corporations. And so we were launching into that. We had a pretty good sales pipeline, and our strategy was to deliver in-person training followed by a virtual reality practice experience where we could really cement skills that people were learning. And then the pandemic hit. So rather than feel defeated, we just realized we needed to do something different. And Wendy actually had a great idea about how we could develop healthcare training to for healthcare workers who might needed to be called into action to help with the pandemic. And so we vetted this idea with a few people. We put a business plan together and pitched the idea to some funders, and 4 days later had a contract to build some training around personal protective equipment, taking it off, putting it on, hand hygiene, and other procedures. So we built that. We also we realized that we needed advisors in the healthcare space, and so we gathered a board of advisors around us and realized, oh my gosh, we have some opportunity here in healthcare for training around, well, the opportunities around training are endless, but also still being able to incorporate our bias training into everything we do, which, as of a few weeks ago, the world is realizing finally how important that might be. And so we're here to serve in healthcare during this crisis and beyond, and also continuing to carry forward the work around implicit bias and making sure that that's, so we have individual training for that, but also making sure it's incorporated into everything that we do. So as far as why am I an entrepreneur? It's, I think, a little bit by accident, a little bit in my blood. And I do really love building things, both the vision and how to achieve it. And that's always a challenge. But I think that's important to me. I have to have a challenge. So that's, I think, why I'm an entrepreneur.
Want to do a little Q&A?
Sure.
So what's been your favorite part along? Because this is quite an impressive journey that you've been on.
My
None of
favorite
it. When it's over.
I mean, I do think that, you know, in being an entrepreneur, you have a lot of autonomy and you have a lot of freedom, and you can get really creative, and that can be really great for some people, but it is a challenge. The fact is, though, if you know, if I ever feel defeated, it's like, well, there's another option, and I have the freedom to create that.
So you're like a little bit scrappy. You're like, there's always going to be something else for you to do.
I am one of 5 kids, so I think, I'm scrappy.
Yeah, you know your way around.
Twin brother.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know your way around.
Yeah.
Any questions from the audience? And as a reminder, those of you tuning in virtually, you can type your questions into the chat bar on YouTube. Shelby. What is the experience for somebody taking the training? Are they slideshows, videos? What tell us a little bit about that.
It depends on the specific training, but there is an online component where you're learning and taking quizzes, and it's an engaging learning experience. And then the virtual reality is where you can practice those skills and fail and learn and fail until you get it right before you take those skills into the real world.
I feel like there's an application for online dating here that could really, I'm like sensing an opportunity. Any other questions from the live audience? Trying some things. Yes. How long did it take you to shift from doing the bias trainings into the healthcare? Like, how quickly did you make that shift?
2 days.
I mean, that's what it sounded like, because this all happened very recently. And you're just like, okay, let's talk. Okay, we'll just pivot.
Well, we had to do something. I mean, we weren't going to be training large groups of people in person, and it became pretty clear pretty quickly that this would work, and it has.
And that there was a need. I think, 20 years from now, we'll all look back and be like, that was it was COVID, but it was like the time of the great pivot. Everyone became a master of the pivot.
Yeah, and it's not so much a pivot. It was how can we, be relevant and still serve while using our skill set. It's still training, it's still virtual reality, and it's still helping where help is needed.
Yeah, sure. Yes. Do you have any other vertical markets in mind?
All of them. So our primary focus is healthcare, because we do want to go deep and be able to serve that market very well. But we have also industry agnostic training that can serve any market. Additionally, we have avenues into K-12 education still and higher ed.
Excellent. Erin, any questions from our virtual audience? Why do you support the ecosystem as well, along with doing it again?
I think it initially started when I was running a company and I was either COO or COO, and I was looking for a community. And I was also, our clients were all over the globe, and so it was important for me to find, a community that I could be a part of. But also, this is where I work and live, and my kids go to school, and I love it for all of those reasons.
Great. And then we have another question back by the door. So questions about the headsets and the actual physical technology of it. Are you running into any problems there, challenges, wins?
So we use the Oculus Quest right now, in part because it has very precise hand tracking. So you actually don't need to have a remote in your hand. It can track what your hand is doing, and so that's really important for medical training. And there is an enterprise program that makes it a little bit easier for entrepreneurs to distribute the headsets, which was just launched a few months ago, thank goodness.
Oh yes, the Oculus Quest. That's very good. Any other questions from our live audience? Yes. Where did the idea come from?
Which one?
Which one? For Shift.
So
the most recent one.
Well, the company actually started before I was a part of it, and my partner Wendy Morgan had she had the idea around using implicit bias to mitigate, or using VR to mitigate the effects of implicit bias in the classroom, and she has a teaching background, and so that's where it started. And when she realized, oh, this is a thing, and it's a company, and she got some early funding, and that's when she found me, and then the company's just evolved since then.
It's remarkable. Okay, I think we have time for one more question. Does anybody else have anything that they want to ask? Okay, yes. Okay, so you're going to have to go back to the original idea. What are you noticing in terms of how the climate has shifted in the last couple months?
So since then, it's become a nice to have idea to a we must have idea. And so we've had so many of the people we've talked to over the last year and a half reach back out and say, okay, we're ready now. What do you have for us? And so that's part of why we're building something that's both industry specific and industry agnostic.
That's great. Okay, any more questions? One more. We could do one more. Yes. People are pointing and I'm not seeing.
Where are they?
Roger. Oh, Roger. He's way back there. Roger, what's your question? So how are you breaking into healthcare? It's notorious to get in. So how are you managing that?
So there are a couple ways that we're doing that. One is we do have an amazing advisory board who has built connections and is pretty much, if they make an introduction, then somebody's willing to talk. The other thing, unfortunately, but working in our favor, is the pandemic, and the need for practice and training in person is just really hard to come by. And so institutions that would normally take a long time to make these decisions are extremely engaged with us and moving pretty quickly, and that's especially at universities and colleges and CNA and nursing programs. So we're tackling the low-hanging fruit first, which is who's having an urgent need that needs to be solved.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I admire what you're doing very much, and I look forward to hearing back from you. I hope you'll keep checking in with us. Thanks for coming. And good
I tend
luck.
to hang around.
Yeah,
So.
okay, good. Well, good. I mean, and really, you're remarkably fresh-faced considering how much you're pulling off. So keep it up. Whatever you're doing, ramp it up.
I'm going to go
Get
have
some of
that
those
drink
nuts.
now.
Yeah, go have a drink. Get some of the nuts. Thanks so much, Maggie. You can just go right over that way. Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Aaron. All right, my friends, I promise you a moment of bend every time we meet. Have any of you ever walked through the Franklin Underpass? Anyway, just right up the road? Yes. So you may have noticed over the last several months, there is a beautiful mural there painted by our friend Casey Anseth. Casey Frances Anseth actually left her earthly body in March, and today would have been her 41st birthday. And I now know the deep, deep meaning of the word bittersweet, but I will tell you that we launched her Legacy Foundation today, the Casey Anseth Legacy Foundation. And so you can, what she requested of us, she put together a board. She requested that we take her body of work, we make it available to the public, and then we create 2 funds. So we have the Paper Tiger Fund, which is emergency funding for artists who have run into car trouble, medical trouble, whatever it might be. And then we have the Outcreate Grant. And this is to help artists specifically create work or continue a project that they're already on. So the whole point is there's no life without art, right? There's no life without art. And so I invite you to visit our website, CaseyAnsethLegacyFoundation.org. You can purchase prints, you can make donations, and best of all, please just spend some time with her art. Her body of work is incredible. It's filled with wisdom, deep beauty. She was a wise, amazing person, and so I hope you'll take a visit. And we're also Casey Anseth Legacy Foundation on Instagram and Facebook, and I hope you find it as beautiful as we do, and I thank you for being a part of it. In addition to that, yeah, we have some cheers in the back. You may have noticed some of our we have 2 friends here taking pictures. This is Casey's other best friends, Sarah B. Gillum and Christina Sear. Sear built our website. It's incredible. What were you going to say? We raised $3,500 since this morning when we launched. That feels really good. Yeah, that feels really good. Christina Sear built our website. I hesitate to tell people that because you're not actually in the business of building websites and not necessarily wanting to take any more. But when you go visit Casey Anseth, LegacyFoundation.org, you will fall in love. It's absolutely breathtaking, so beautiful. So I look forward to all of you seeing it. And then I'm going to also direct the rest of you to the EDCO events page on our website. Watch for upcoming events from a likely Made and Bend tour later this summer. PubTalk, September 24th. This is our biggest PubTalk. Now, we may not be shoulder to shoulder here at McMenamins. We may be spread out over a couple different locations, but it is our pre-BVC event, and it is the biggest one of the year and the most fun, I would say. So I just want to say thank you all for showing up, clicking in this afternoon, showing your support for EDCO and these entrepreneurs, and your continued efforts to keep your communities safe while reopening. I'm Shannan Kelley. I will see you next time. I'm going to put my mask on, so hold tight. Everybody be safe. See you next time. Thanks for having me.